Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to EFL Championship Predictions. We are back for some more Championship games this weekend and I am joined by Sophie. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Hope for a better weekend for our club this weekend.
Yes. Guys, let's set the like target at 1,300 for today's video. Your support is always absolutely fantastic on the Championship predictions. So make sure to drop a like, it's free to do, and make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you've not already subscribed, make sure to get involved. It's free to do, and we release Championship predictions on a weekly basis. You can help us hit 56,000 subscribers by hitting the subscribe button down below. The final thing we need to mention, Sophie, before we get into the predictions is the scores from last week, where it was a draw.
Oh.
8-8.
Oh, that's not bad actually. We did quite well.
And you still have a lead by 1 point.
It's tight though.
It is close. 197 to 198. Let's get into the Championship predictions then, Sophie, starting on Friday night at Hillsborough, where Sheffield Wednesday take on Birmingham City. A big game for both, Sophie. They both lost in the Championship last weekend. Sheffield Wednesday are certainly in the more desperate situation. They are in the bottom three, and to lose 4-0 to Huddersfield.
Yeah, wasn't it in like 12 minutes? Isn't it daft?
It was 0-0 at half time. I don't know what happened there. As for Birmingham, they nearly got something against West Brom. They lost in the final 5 minutes due to Weiman's goal. I make Birmingham slight favourites here, Sophie. I do think they've been pretty good under Tony Mowbray, but they are still losing, a fair few games. Ultimately, he can only use the tools that he's got, and I think Birmingham could become better under a couple of transfer windows under Tony Mowbray. But I think right now the best that Tony Mowbray will probably get for Birmingham is mid-table-ish. As for Sheffield Wednesday, they need to get a result. I'm actually going to go for a draw here, Sophie. Wednesday cannot lose this game.
They can't afford to, no.
They cannot afford to. I mean, they could, of course.
Yeah, I think they will.
I'm going to go 1-1.
Okay. I don't know. They just absolutely fell apart second half against Huddersfield, didn't they? And there's not many teams out there that are losing 4-0 to Huddersfield. No offence to Huddersfield, but they're not exactly the best in the Championship. Yeah, I'm going to back Mowbray. I think Birmingham City, they... obviously not as desperately as Sheffield Wednesday need the points, but I feel they do need some points here. And I think they'll do it. I'm going to say 2-1. 2-1 Blues.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Not masses in it. Yeah.
No, just back in the away side in that one. Okay, interesting. Okay, on to the next one, Sophie. This is a big game on the Saturday lunchtime. It's Ipswich Town versus West Bromwich Albion. It's a big game, Sophie. It's a massive game. Both sides have a lot to play for. And if you remember correctly, Soph, West Brom did beat Ipswich at the Hawthorns, and that was at a time when Ipswich weren't really losing to anyone. Now they are starting to drop points quite consistently. It's a difficult one here, Sophie. You don't really want to criticise Ipswich because the big picture is they have come so far. And was it going to be sustainable for them to stay in the top two race? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I'm still not ruling them out of it, but they've certainly opened the door and the others have walked in. West Bromwich Albion, they still sit fifth. I mean, if they win this, they can maybe try and, close the gap between fourth and fifth. But I'm going to go for a draw. Ipswich have the home advantage. West Brom have been pretty good recently, but I'm going to go for another 1-1.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really tempted to say a draw here as well. Ipswich... you could say they need a win for the team confidence, but if you look at the table, they don't need a win, do they? They've got a lot of points on the board. You can't rule out automatics now, but do you know what? I'm going to back the away side again. I'm going to say West Brom 1-0. Really? I think it's going to be a low scoring one, the exact same score that they got against Birmingham, and I think they might just do it again. So 1-0 to the Baggies. 1-0. There you go. Sophie's going for another away win there. Interesting. Share your thoughts. It's a big game, I must say, between Ipswich and West Brom. The next game, Sophie, is also quite interesting in a way. It's Blackburn versus Stoke. It's interesting because I don't really know who to back. They've both been on a bad run of form, if I'm going to be honest, Sophie. Blackburn in particular, they are sliding down the table. I think... they should be okay, both of these teams, but if QPR and Sheffield Wednesday and Huddersfield can all start picking up points consistently soon, then these two teams would be in danger with the run of form that they find themselves in. I'm tempted to go for another draw here, Sophie, but I might just edge the home team. I think Blackburn have had to wait longer for a win than Stoke have
I know Blackburn won in the FA Cup against Wrexham a week or so ago, but that doesn't count. In terms of the Championship, they need a win. I'll give it to them. I don't know why. I don't really want to back either of them.
No.
1-0 Blackburn.
Yeah, it's funny that you say you don't want to back either, because I don't. I look at this game and I can't really pick a winner. Blackburn, what is going on? They're not a bad team, are they? If you look at the team on paper, they're not a bad team. And I actually don't think he's a terrible manager either. I think there's something going on behind the scenes. I'm going to have to go draw, because I don't really want to back either team here. So I'll say a 1-1 draw and be boring.
Yeah, it's a match-up between two teams that have got quite a few former Coventry players now.
Yeah, mainly Blackburn.
Mainly Blackburn, but Stoke have got McNally and Rose, haven't they?
Yeah.
So there you go, guys. Not the most interesting game, I must say. Sorry if you're a Blackburn or Stoke fan, but you probably agree.
Yeah.
On to the next one, Sophie. This is a little bit more interesting as we go to South Wales. It's Cardiff City versus Preston North End. Now, a couple of weeks ago, wouldn't have seemed like a massive game, but they both got really good wins last week, Sophie. Preston beat Ipswich 3-2. They were 3-0 up in no time. As for Cardiff, they went away to Watford and won 1-0. And I did say before that game that Cardiff need to win games like that if they want to be considered in the playoff race. So credit to both of them. They're both not out of it just yet. While it might seem like they're on the outside of the playoff race, if either of them win this game, then it's back-to-back wins and they're looking quite close. Funnily enough, though, I'm not going to back either of them. I'm going to go down the middle. I think this is quite close, so could see maybe Cardiff scoring a set piece and Preston getting one as well. So yeah, I'm going to go down the middle, 1-1.
Do you know what? I'm going to go for another away win. I don't back Preston enough, and actually they really impressed me against Ipswich. Yeah, they did concede 2 later on, and it was squeaky bum time at the end, thinking, oh, we're going to blow the 3 points. But no, they held on to it. Cardiff, though, all credit to them as well, because that was a great win against Watford. I didn't see that one coming. I do feel like I'm going to have to go towards Preston on this one. 2-1.
2-1, yeah. I can already see the Cardiff fans getting upset with you down below.
That's absolutely fair, because they've just had a good result and I'm going against them, so...
We can't back them both to win.
No.
That's why I've gone for a draw. On to the next one, Sophie. Let's go to the KCOM, the KC. It's Hull City versus Swansea City. The form book tells you not to go for Swansea, so if Swansea come here in a poor run of form and they take on a Hull City side that have jumped back into the playoffs, you just keep it warm for us, Hull. You're not going to finish there. No, they might, Sophie. They might. Their January transfer business was very good, by the way. And
it was. So was their summer window before.
And they've just got Philogene back, and he scored against Millwall, and they won. I think Hull might just edge this one as well. Hull City 2-1.
I actually see this one being a very one-sided game. Hull 3-0 for me, as you said.
3-0?
Yeah, they've got Philogene back. He's a great player, and they look a much better team when he's in the side. And just overall, they have added quality to that 11. Swansea aren't in the best of form, and that's why I'm going pretty hard on a Hull win here. So yeah, 3-0.
3-0. Yeah, okay, interesting. Share your thoughts if you're a Hull City or a Swansea fan. We're both backing the Tigers to beat the Swans. On to the next one, Sophie, and it's a Yorkshire derby. It's Leeds United versus Rotherham United, Sophie. Is this a foregone conclusion, Sophie? Leeds United are in the top 3. Rotherham are in the bottom 3. Leeds haven't lost at home yet.
Rotherham are poor away.
Rotherham haven't won away, I don't think, yet. It seems like the most foregone conclusion ever. We always do say it would be so typical of the Championship if Rotherham were to win.
Yeah.
I cannot see it in a million years, Sophie. I think
that's harsh. Not in a million years.
Not in a million years, no. I think even in a billion years. Rotherham United, to be fair to them, have had a bit more fight about them recently.
They have,
but I think they're just in such a bad position now. It's
hard to motivate the players, really, isn't it?
It's hard to motivate the players, and it's like trying to climb up a mountain when you haven't got the mountain climbing gear. I just think they're going to struggle to get out of the situation that they're in. I'm going to go Leeds United quite comfortable here. So they did reward us for backing them last week. We backed Leeds to beat Bristol City on the road, and they did. This time, Leeds United at home, going to go comfortable, 3-0.
4-1 Leeds. Do you know what? I feel like Rotherham might get a goal. I've got to give them something, because I feel pretty harsh going on the goals here. But Leeds have a very good team. They've got very good forward players, and Rotherham away from home aren't the best team. Can I see them shipping a few goals? Yes. But I'm going to give them a goal. I know that doesn't sound great because the deficit's still 3, but yeah, 4-1 Leeds.
4-1 Leeds. Okay, yeah, both going for Leeds to win by 3 goals though. Share your thoughts on that one. Next up, Sophie, we go to the Riverside where Middlesbrough take on Bristol City. It's a mid-table matchup, Sophie, but once again, if either side wins this, they'll find themselves closing the gap on the playoffs. Middlesbrough at the start of the season would have been a team we'd tipped to make it.
Yeah.
They still might. Last time it was a 1-1 draw against Sunderland, which is okay, but they do need their next win pretty soon, don't they?
Yeah, especially being at home as well.
Yes. As for Bristol City, they lost to Leeds last time out. Before that, they drew with Coventry. I'm split between Middlesbrough just edging it or a draw, and I'm going to go for Middlesbrough to just edge it. I'm going to go for Middlesbrough to win 2-1. They need 3 points really to get themselves back into the playoff conversation.
See, I see this being quite evenly matched. Right now, the form they're both in, it's hard to separate the two. So saying that, I'm going to have to go down the middle. I'm going to say 1-1, but I can see why you're back in Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I do think it'll be close. I mean, I'm only just going for Middlesbrough, to be fair. On to the next one, Sophie. This is a very big game, this one, Sophie. In West London, we have got QPR versus Norwich, and they both picked up great wins last time. Norwich beat Coventry. What was your thoughts?
I could see it happening. It was one of them where you've got to give Norwich credit because for the most part they were the better team, but in typical Coventry fashion we had some chances, we didn't take them. In fairness, their keeper did make 2 really, really good saves to keep them in it. We had a man sent off, so it was almost inevitable that we were then going to go on to lose, which we did.
Yeah, and you backed Norwich to win 2-1, so fair play to you. Yeah, Norwich are a bit of a bogey team. I don't ever like coming up against them. I think they're right in the playoff mix, but they take on QPR, Sophie, and QPR won away at Blackburn, which I did predict 2-1, so I've got that one. They both want to follow up their results last time. Norwich really need to stay in the playoff race. QPR need to get something because obviously last time they won, but they didn't close the gap because Huddersfield also won.
Yeah.
I'm just edging Norwich though. I know I backed QPR last week and it worked. This time I'm just going to go for Norwich. They're looking quite good at the moment. QPR 1, Norwich 2.
Yeah, I was really tempted to say 2-1 Norwich, but I just feel like I'm seeing more signs of a fight in that QPR team now, and it's obviously coming at a good time because you don't want to be going down. So I'm going to award them a draw. I can see there being a few goals in this one, so I'm going to say 2-2.
Oh, you're going for the Desmond there. I like it. Okay, Sophie, let's move on to the next one. Another big game between a team at the top end and a team at the bottom end as we go to St Mary's. It's Southampton versus Huddersfield. And both got good results last time, Sophie. We'll start with Southampton. We both backed them to beat Rotherham on the road. They did. That's another game unbeaten now. It's ridiculous. And what a good weekend for them as well because Ipswich lost. It's opened up for Southampton now and literally the Saints have gone marching in.
They are going marching in, yeah.
As for Huddersfield, Sophie, what a win. We both did back them to beat Sheffield Wednesday.
Not like that,
but
though.
4-0.
Yeah. I don't think anyone saw that coming.
Can they follow it up here? It's going to be difficult. I think if you're a Huddersfield fan, you've got to be realistic and say if you can get a draw here, that would be amazing. I think Southampton are going to win though. If I'm being honest, right now, I think Southampton probably gets second and Huddersfield stay up. So there you go. You can both be happy with that. But as for the game, I'm going to go Southampton 2-0.
I've been saying for a couple of months now that Southampton gets second place.
No, but I've mentioned Huddersfield as well.
Okay.
Do you think they stay up?
Yeah, I think they could, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure on that, though. Anyway, yeah, Southampton win this for me, but I am going to give Huddersfield a goal because, 4-0. It was against Sheffield Wednesday, who just seemed to collapse, to be honest. But Southampton have got real quality there. As I've just said, I think they're going to get second place and they're going straight back up. 3-1.
Okay.
Yeah, 3-1 to the Saints.
Yeah, both go for the same deficit by 2 goals there, but we're both backing the Saints to get another win. On to the next one, Sophie. As we go to the Stadium of Light, it's one hell of a journey for the Plymouth fans. It's Sunderland versus Plymouth Argyle. It's a long away day. It's the longest away day, but could it be worthwhile, Sophie? Because Plymouth have now picked up an away win.
Yeah, their first away win.
They went to Swansea, Whittaker with the goal.
Some player, by the way, isn't he?
He's a great player, Whittaker. And yeah, they've got their first away win now, Sophie, so they should go there full of confidence. And I think Plymouth have got themselves into a position where, yes, they're not definitely safe yet, but I think they're going to be okay. And
I think they will.
And they might find themselves in a position where there's a bit of freedom, because they're not really close to the relegation battle. They're not really close to the playoffs. Just play every game with that bit of freedom, and they might do better. As for Sunderland, there's a lot on the line. They're right in the playoff race. They did get a draw away at Middlesbrough last time. Still not completely, settled picture with Beale, but it does seem like he's getting a few decent results. I'm going to go 1-1.
I'm going to back Plymouth to get their second away win of the season.
Really?
Yeah, they're going to have waited so long for an away win that they're going to have two. It's like the London buses. But yeah, Plymouth are, as you say, they're playing with that freedom, because I don't think they're getting down. There is a small risk of them going down, but they're not really playing for anything, because it's almost like there's three worse teams than them in the division, let's be honest.
At least.
Sunderland, however, there's quite a lot of pressure on them to get playoffs. I don't think the fans are that happy with Beale, but he's not doing the worst job in the world right now. It could be worse, could be Rooney. Plymouth 2-1 for me.
That's a big shout, that is, Sophie. Back in the Pilgrims to win away. I mean, it would be great to see the Plymouth fans be rewarded for making that long journey.
I think that's probably what swayed me a little bit. I'm thinking, oh, come on, the team need to put a good performance in for their supporters. Yeah.
Okay, there's only 2 games left, Sophie. Let's go to Vicarage Road, where it's Watford versus Leicester City. Watford, we've spoken about how they lost at home to Cardiff 1-0. It's not great. As for Leicester, Sophie, they smashed Stoke 5-0. And they look back to their best, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's been a very competitive championship season with the quality of Southampton, Leeds, Ipswich, West Brom, but Leicester have just been the best by a long way.
Yeah, and quite consistent as well. Obviously a couple of not best performances, but they're still getting the wins.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're rightfully top of the league.
Obviously this game being played at Vicarage Road does bring back memories of Troy Deeney scoring in the last minute in the playoff game against Leicester, but I think Leicester will win this one. I'm going to go Watford 1, Leicester 3.
Cool, okay. I'm going for the same deficit actually. I'm going to say 2-0 Leicester. I don't see them completely whitewashing Watford like they did Stoke, but Watford aren't a bad team either, so it wouldn't actually surprise me if they did get something from this game, but I can't go against Leicester, so 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0. There you go, both back in Leicester. And the final game then, Sophie, is at the CBS on Sunday. It's Coventry City versus Millwall. We have had to wait so long for a 3 p.m. home game on a Saturday, and we still haven't got one.
No.
Sky Sports just love Coventry, don't they? We take on Millwall, Sophie. Obviously, last time it was a defeat for Coventry to Norwich in the Championship, and we really need to win this one. You can't mess about when you're in a playoff race. You need to win the games at home, especially against bottom half teams, and that is what Millwall are. They haven't been as good this season as last season. We did beat them 3-0 away. Do I think it'll be 3-0 this time round? No. Millwall only lost 1-0 to Hull City last week. I think it could be a Coventry win by 1 goal, I'm going to go Coventry 2-1 here. I think Millwall can give it a go, but Coventry do have the quality. I'd be really disappointed if we don't win this, so I think we've got to go for it. 2-1.
Yeah, I think we've got to go for it, and I think the lineup's going to say that. Obviously, we'll be without Kitchen. He'll be on his second game suspension. We're without Sheep, which is a massive miss. I feel like we're going to go quite attacking. We've got to. We really need the win. I'm feeling fairly positive about this one, purely because Millwall aren't in the best of form at the moment.
Yeah.
3-1 City.
3-1?
3-1, yeah.
I like it. A bit of positivity there.
Yeah.
We need a win, don't we? That wraps up the championship predictions, guys, for this week. Like I say, there's so much football coming over the next week or two, so do make sure to stick around. Share your predictions down in the comments. If you want to support this video, it takes 2 seconds to drop a like, and it's also free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for joining me, Sophie.
Thank you.
Peace out.